The Chosen Season 6 is about to be out, and now we have an idea on what to expect from the first episode of the season. So let's talk about it. First things first, I think we all know that. Season 6 is different. It's focused on one single day, the final day before the crucifixion. I still can't wrap my head around how Dallas Jenkins and his team are pulling this off, but they are. And they're doing it in a way that really mirrors the heaviness of the story. According to Dallas, almost the entire season takes place at night. That means the cast and crew have been filming mostly overnight, which creates this haunting, eerie energy that actually mirrors what the Gospels tell us. So think of the betrayal, the denial, the trial. They all happened under the cover of this darkness. And now they've literally filmed in that same darkness, which makes this season quite poetic in my opinion. Dallas has said that this is by far the most emotionally and spiritually demanding season they've ever done. And I get it. We're talking about the moments that changed human history forever. In the Bible, the Gospel of John, chapter 13 through 19, walks us through everything, from the Last Supper to the Garden of Gethsemane, from Peter's denial to Jesus standing before Pilate, and then ultimately, the crucifixion. Those events are some of the most intense and spiritually loaded moments in Scripture. And now, The Chosen is not only bringing those to the screen, but making us live inside them for an entire season. In episode 1 of the first season, we will witness the trial of Jesus. The apostles will do their best to defend him, while Jesus will choose to remain silent, knowing that no word would be enough to change their minds. And even more important than that, he knows that they are not worthy of his words. But let me elaborate further. So, if you read the Bible, you know that the trial of Jesus wasn't just one single event. It unfolded in phases, first through the Jewish religious system, and then through the Roman political one. After Jesus was arrested in the Garden of Gethsemane, right after that painful moment where he tells the Father, "Not my will, but yours be done," he's taken to Annas. Now, Annas isn't technically the high priest anymore, but he still holds a lot of power. And Annas starts questioning Jesus about his disciples and his teachings. But Jesus responds with something so simple and brave. He basically says, "I've taught openly. Everyone's heard me. Why are you questioning me like I've been hiding?" And then, in that moment, one of the guards actually slaps him across the face. I mean, just imagine watching that scene in episode 1. I cannot wait for it. Then Jesus is sent to Caiaphas, and this is where things really start to escalate. Caiaphas gathers the Sanhedrin, which is like this ruling council of religious leaders, and they try to get witnesses to speak against Jesus. But the testimonies don't line up. It's all just chaos and false accusations. Finally, Caiaphas looks Jesus in the eye and asks him directly if he's the Messiah. And Jesus says something that seals his fate. He says, "You have said so. But I say to all of you, from now on, you will see the Son of Man sitting at the right hand of the Mighty One and coming on the clouds of heaven." That statement alone, claiming to be the Son of God, was considered blasphemy. Caiaphas tears his robes, and just like that, they sentenced Jesus to death. But here's the thing. They couldn't actually kill him themselves. They needed Roman approval for an execution. So now, Jesus is dragged before Pontius Pilate, the Roman governor. This part always breaks my heart a little, because Pilate isn't convinced Jesus did anything wrong. He questions him and even asks, "Are you the king of the Jews?" Jesus says, "You say that I am." And Pilate, despite all the pressure from the crowd and religious leaders, keeps saying, "I find no fault in him." But instead of releasing him, Pilate learns that Jesus is from Galilee. So, trying to pass the responsibility, he sends Jesus to Herod Antipas, who was in Jerusalem at the time. Herod is curious. He's actually kind of excited to see Jesus, hoping he'll perform some miracle. But Jesus stays completely silent, doesn't say a word. So Herod mocks him, dresses him up in a royal robe like a joke, and sends him back to Pilate. Now Pilate's really stuck. He doesn't want to crucify Jesus, but the crowd is getting louder, more aggressive. Pilate tries one last thing. He offers to release a prisoner, as was the custom during Passover. The crowd gets to choose, Jesus or Barabbas, a known criminal. And I mean, if this were a story I didn't already know, I'd think surely they'd choose Jesus. But no. They scream for Barabbas, and Pilate gives in. Before handing Jesus over, Pilate has him flogged. And when you really think about that, it wasn't just a few lashes. It was brutal, skin-tearing, soul-breaking pain. Then the Roman soldiers mock him. They twist together a crown of thorns and jam it onto his head. They put a purple robe on him and shout, "Hail, King of the Jews!" as they strike him. Even after all this, Pilate tries to reason with the crowd, but they won't budge. "Crucify him!" they shout again and again. So finally, Pilate washes his hands in front of everyone, saying, "I'm innocent of this man's blood." And he hands Jesus over to be crucified. This will basically be the plot of the first half of Season 6, particularly Episode 1, and I cannot wait to watch it. But let me know which scene are you most excited about. And if you thought Season 5 was big, Season 6 is on another level. It's being shot over 86 days. That's almost 20 days more than any season before it. The crew has filmed in North Texas, Utah, and of course, Matera, Italy, the same place where they filmed the crucifixion scenes. Matera is actually where the Passion of the Christ was shot too. That means there's this really eerie historical weight in the air when you're filming scenes like these. We also know that Season 6 of The Chosen is ending with what Dallas is calling a supersized final episode. When he sat down to write the Season 6 finale, he said he felt this deep push to go all in, to pour every bit of heart, vision, and meaning into it. He wasn't just writing another episode, he was capturing the single most powerful event in history, and he said that telling the story of Jesus' crucifixion demanded everything they had. And when he shared the script with the Come and See Foundation, which, if you didn't know, is the nonprofit that helps fund The Chosen, they were so moved by what he'd written that they decided to go even bigger. They wanted to take it to the next level, not just in scale, but in how it would be released. This isn't just going to be the final episode of a season, it's going to be a full-length movie, in theaters, all around the world. But here's the thing, making something like this doesn't come cheap. Jenkins said the finale alone is going to cost $30 million to bring to life. Let that sink in. $30 million. That's bigger than anything they've ever done before. And right now, they've already raised nearly $16 million of that through crowdfunding. Now, Dallas is reaching out to all of us. If you've ever been moved by this series like I have, this is our chance actually to help finish the story. He said, "I promise you, the way we're telling this story and illuminating the meaning of Christ's sacrifice has never been on film before. I believe any dollar you sacrifice is going to be part of changing someone's life." And honestly, I believe that. The cast have also been incredibly open about how hard this season has been. Jonathan Rumi, who plays Jesus, and I seriously don't know how he does it, said that this is the most difficult work of his career. Not just physically, though that's part of it. Portraying the crucifixion took such a toll on him that he lost weight and muscle. But emotionally and spiritually, this role is just brutal. In his words, he's carrying the full weight of Christ's final moments, and it's taken him to places he's never been before. And I don't know about you guys, but I believe him. I've been watching him grow in this role for 5 seasons now, but something about this chapter feels different. The burden of what he's portraying takes this job from beyond acting. He is basically doing the God's work, at least in my eyes. Elizabeth Tabish, who plays Mary Magdalene, also said filming these moments was heartbreaking. She said, "You're watching someone you love be tortured and mocked and crucified. It's awful." And she's right, because by this point in the story, Mary isn't just a follower of Jesus. She's someone who was changed by him. She owes her life to him. Watching his suffering up close, even in a scripted setting, is devastating. Abe Bueno Halad, who plays Big James, was also there in Italy while they filmed the crucifixion scenes. And what he said really gave me chills. He said, "I've never seen the cast so focused. There's just been incredible stuff happening on set. I've come back to set on days that I don't work just to watch, and I've seen stuff that gives me goosebumps." I mean, I can't be the only one who's extremely excited about hearing these words, am I? Now, let's talk about how they're releasing this season. Because of course they're doing something totally bold and unexpected. If you followed the show as long as I have, you know they're always shaking things up. They've never done a traditional release format. They've always found new ways to get us involved. And now, they're taking things even further. Season 6 is coming to Prime Video sometime in 2026. We don't have an exact date yet, but what we do know is that the finale, the episode that shows the crucifixion, is going to be released as a full-length theatrical movie on May 12th, 2027. Like, are you kidding me? If they were selling tickets today, I'd be first in line. I can already feel the lump in my throat just thinking about seeing it on the big screen. And get this, they're not stopping there. The very beginning of Season 7, which will show the resurrection, is also being released in theaters as a feature film on March 31st, 2028. That's Easter weekend, by the way, which makes it even more special. This theatrical release partnership is something we've never seen before. It's a first of its kind arrangement between 5 and 2 Studios and Amazon MGM Studios, and I'm here for it. Abe Bueno Halad said it best. I love being a part of a company and a project that's not afraid to kind of shake it up, stir up the water, do things differently, get used to different, has kind of always been our motto. And honestly, that line, get used to different, that's what The Chosen is all about. Right now, Season 5 has already rolled out on Prime Video. And I don't know about you guys, but I really feel like Season 5 and Season 6 are a two-part masterpiece. They're basically telling the same story, the final days of Jesus, from different sides. Season 5 kind of sets the emotional and spiritual stage, while Season 6 brings it all crashing down. Abe said it like this: everybody is kind of at this really big boiling point. Jesus is trying to convey to us, specifically to a few characters, that this is it. This is going to be the last time. That hits different when you think about what's coming. Because the Gospels are full of these moments where Jesus is trying to prepare the disciples, but they just don't fully understand. And now, The Chosen is showing us that same heartbreak. For more weekly updates, analysis, and discussions on The Chosen Season 6, make sure to like and follow. Meanwhile, the video on the screen might also interest you.